I woke up, I want to say probably about 3:30 in the morning, and that room was just filled with the smell of perfume.
We are on historic Allen Street at the Hotel Tombstone.
Allen Street is named after a man called John Allen, but his nickname was John Pye Allen. Reports of water bottles being thrown across the hotel rooms just at random. We have a lot of paranormal activity here in the hotel.
Jason, it's colder over here. Get over here. Come put your hand over here. It's back. It's right. I mean, this is inverted, but I feel like it's right over the pillow. Hello, DGH fans, and welcome to Dr. Ghost Hunter's debut paranormal experience, Hotel Tombstone. At this unique and innovative content within the paranormal, we hope to bring you something unlike anything Jason and I have ever done on the channel, but hopefully an entirely new experience for your paranormal content. The episode today is going to be focused around our investigation at the Hotel Tombstone. Many of you joined us live during that investigation, but for those of you who may have missed out, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can join us whenever we have our paranormal experiences or go live on our next investigations. Today, you're joined by your two favorite doctors of the paranormal. We got Dr. Jason, Dr. Chad, and then in the background, we'll pull them in just a little bit. We have our DGH skeptic, Jamie Ryan, and of course, my lovely wife and today producer, Sensational Sarah. So with that being said, Jason, we've got a whole lot to offer. We're super excited about this. Why don't you tell people what they're going to be in for today?
Sure. So during this paranormal experience, we break down the evidence that we collected during this investigation. We have interviews with local tombstone experts. We look to debunk any abnormalities that we're seeing on the paranormal investigation. We show you footage of our investigation that took place after the live stream ended. Take your questions, and even have a few surprises.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you're going through this, be sure to pull out your pen and paper and write down your questions for your paranormal doctors here. If you have comments during the show, please feel free to type them in. And of course, we want your questions for the end of the show, just as you mentioned. Jason, I'm excited for this. This is something that we've been talking about for quite some time. We're excited to bring it to people. So with the Hotel Tombstone, once again, that investigation can be seen on YouTube. If you haven't already checked it out, please be sure when you're done with this episode, go back and give that a watch. You can see our full investigation from start to finish. But we want to give you a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as part of this paranormal experience about how we got to the Hotel Tombstone. So one thing as investigators that's always tricky is access to locations. Finding locations, number one, is tough. And then access to locations can be a little bit tricky as well. Now, this situation was unique. At the end of last year, Jason and I were based out of Salt Lake City. We had a little bit of time off. We wanted to go somewhere warm. And you say, hey, why don't we go down to Arizona? And you said you always wanted to go to Tombstone. So we didn't know where to investigate in Tombstone. So we turned to social media. And we went to Facebook. I found a Tombstone kind of locals group, begged them to let me join. They were gracious enough to do it. We put out a request for help about where perhaps we should investigate. And the response was phenomenal. I can't thank the people enough inside of that group who guided us where to go. And we had so many places to choose from in Tombstone that we ended up with one theme that kept coming back. And that was the Madam Suite at the Hotel Tombstone. So I think even before I could text Jason and tell him how much interaction we had, I already had the room booked and we were super excited about this. But so not only is booking the location important, but also knowing a little bit about the history is also something that has come into play, at least for us. We did check out the Boot Hill Cemetery. That was another one that was offered to us. That was another video that we did last week. And again, if you didn't watch that one, after this is over, go check that one out. But when it comes to history, Jason, I was able to get just a little bit. So the Hotel Tombstone's only been the Hotel Tombstone for the past year. Prior to that, it was T. Miller's Hotel.
Yep.
And then it was the Silver Nugget Bed and Breakfast before that. But even finding that information online was a bit difficult. There is a website that references the building location as being a part of a historic tombstone area. And the website states that it's one of the 10 important properties in this historical document. But I actually went in and read that historical document. I couldn't find that this building was located on there. So with that being said, we always like to give you a little bit of history. We had to turn to some experts. And fortunately, we were able to pull in two of the biggest tombstone experts that we could find. The first of which is with Desert Sky Adventures. His YouTube channel, all things tombstone and a little bit of paranormal mixed in. Dave was gracious enough to join us and try and give us a little bit of insight. We're going to play that interview clip with Dave right now.
The reason why I brought that up, I think it was a Facebook post you said that you had put up where you were looking for possibly haunted hotels or haunted motels in the area. And I've stayed in just about all of them in town. But really the only one where we've ever had any kind of possibly a paranormal experience would be at the Madam Suite, which is in the Tombstone Hotel. When we had stayed there last, it was before I moved to Tombstone. So back in those days, it was still T. Miller's Mercantile and Hotel. So I actually haven't been in the hotel since they remodeled it. I've seen some pictures though. It looks really nice, but obviously the same building. But we had stayed in the Madam Suite a couple times, and there was, before I moved to Tombstone, we stayed there pretty frequently. And we were visiting Tombstone as most people do, went and saw some bands, hit up a couple bars, had some drinks, had dinner, kind of walked around the town at night, did all that cool stuff, and then made our way back to the hotel. It was probably around midnight, I would say, but we went to sleep, no issues. I woke up, I want to say probably about 3:30 in the morning. And that room was just filled with the smell of perfume, like old timey, like flowery kind of perfume. And Jennifer was asleep. I woke her up. I was like, "You didn't spray any perfume in here, did you?" She's like, "No, I've been asleep." It's like, well, that's really weird because it lasted for a good 30 minutes or so, and then it kind of dissipated. That building itself, it's probably got a pretty long history, but from what I was able to find, like back in the late 20s, early 1930s, I want to say, that was actually a car dealership there. And it's probably been several things from the time it was a dealership until it turned into a hotel. But I read just the other day when I was doing research for another video that the original adobe walls that they used back in the 20s to build it are still there underneath the, I guess, the siding or like the concrete walls they put over it. Usually that's what they do to protect adobes. They put something over it. So building been there almost 100 years, maybe more. But yeah, it's definitely got a pretty rich history sitting there on the corner of 6th and Allen, right across from the Birdcage Theater.
Yes, it does. And certainly that location alone, being able to walk out on that deck of the Madam Suite and just look right over the Birdcage, especially at night, is a pretty cool thing. I mean, that's a world famous theater.
Oh, yeah.
So interestingly, I could not find in my brief research any time that it was actually a brothel, despite the name being the Madam Suite. Have you ever come across anything that would suggest it was a brothel there?
The only thing that I know about offhand is just what people have told me. There are people, professional historians that know a lot more about it than I do. But apparently back in the lively days, back in the 1880s, all the brothels were on that side of the street. So it's probably pretty likely that at some point in time that was a brothel. But it's the way the laws were back then. You can only do that certain sort of thing on one side of the street, at least for a short period of time. So I was told by one of the historians that all the brothels were on that side of Allen Street, on the same side as the motel.
I certainly utilize so many of your videos when trying to find a spot in Tombstone and navigating our time, even briefly down there.
Yeah.
Your videos are the cream of the crop for Tombstone. So anything that you want to say to promote your channel, the mic is yours.
Okay. Well, yeah. Since I moved to Tombstone a couple years ago, I started up my YouTube channel, Desert Sky Adventures. I actually started before I moved to Tombstone, but it was mostly Tombstone-based content. But once I moved here, obviously I had a lot more time to do videos and look into history and things like that. So that's mainly what my channel is about. Every now and then we'll go somewhere else, but for the most part, it's all Tombstone history, Arizona history, attractions, explorations, things around Cochise County. There is a ton of history around here. If you're into Old West history, Tombstone history, ghost towns, Cochise County attractions, then you would probably enjoy my channel, Desert Sky Adventures, because that's what we're all about.
Yeah, so we certainly appreciate Dave for coming on and giving us some insight there. You know, interesting about the north side of Allen Street being the side where it was legal to have brothels. And I think that when you and I toured the Birdcage Theater, which was exactly across the street from the Hotel Tombstone, we saw something on the wall. I don't know if you remember that. When we went downstairs, it had some things on the wall, and it talked about that there, which I always thought was interesting. One side legal, the other side not. I can't. I loved the fact that he smelled that perfume in the middle of the night and immediately thought it was his wife. I almost didn't put that in there because I know Sarah's going to get up in the middle of the night and just be spraying things and just watch my reaction of me going nuts inside of our own house. Sarah, wake up. My God, there's a ghost. So
there's a treatment for that, which we'll get to later.
Yes, there is. So we got some information from Dave, and again, go check out his YouTube content. It's fantastic. If you are going to Tombstone, you have to go check out his. Is the cream of the crop, as I mentioned before. But with that being said, I still didn't feel completely fulfilled about the history of the Hotel Tombstone. So we dug deeper. That's what we do with our diagnosis when we aren't certain. We were gracious or fortunate enough, I guess, to get the owner and CEO of the Hotel Tombstone to join us for an interview. And so with that, we're going to welcome Kim Williams on for an interview to learn a little bit more.
Building, as far as I know, dates back to the 1800s. So it was a general store at one point. And the person that owned the general was of questionable nature, I'll say. And I think he lost the general store at one point because of some sort of hearing. After that, it became a gas station and a mechanic shop. So for the early like actual gas pump out front, it's crazy. And then after that, it became a saloon, the Silver Nugget Saloon. And then it became T. Miller's Mercantile, which was an antique shop. It's had the hotel always. Actually, I don't know if the hotel was here in the late 1800s. I'm not sure exactly when that was. It should have been because the whole building was here. Anyway, and then I took it over after Tina. We offered the hotel, and then we have a pizzeria and local ice cream and an arcade and family games. So fun for the whole family. But I was about to say that it's very haunted, the space upstairs and downstairs. We have reports of water bottles being thrown across the hotel rooms just at random. And guests, you'll see in the guest book upstairs, people wrote about it. Downstairs just last week, one of the pictures of one of the movies that I was in, and a clock just flew off the wall. Now there was a picture right below that, perfectly fine. The other two items just came flying off the wall and crashing down. We have a lot of paranormal activity here in the hotel. We're starting to do ghost hunts because of it, but there's a lot of activity here. I have the sign that was the OK Corral sign that was built for the movie Tombstone. It was built on set, and there's a lot of activity around that. I don't know if it's Powers Booth or who it is, but there's just a lot of activity. And then the gentleman that played Morgan, Bill Paxton, who knows whose energy's around there, but we have a lot of activity in the hotel upstairs and downstairs. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I was checking on some patrons that were eating pizza, and I walked up to them and I said, "How's it going?" And I felt this flick on the top of my hat, and you can hear that noise. And I didn't want to react very loudly because the guests were right there. So I kind of looked left and I looked right, and I looked up to see if maybe something dripped or something fell. And before I could say anything, the guest sitting there goes, "I heard that. I heard him flick your hat." And that flicking of the hat came back to my house in Tucson, and they flicked me in my kitchen as well. I had a different baseball hat on, and they flicked the top of my hat. I was like, "You guys, go back." No, but yeah, you get stuff like that all the time. Open doors, they just do all sorts of stuff when you're not expecting it. They're right there. Because I took this space over just a year ago, year and a month, and we've had some interesting activities since then. I think they're pretty cool. I don't think they're doing anything but saying hello, but they're definitely making their presence known.
I'm curious about the origin of the name of the Madam Suite, which is where we stayed. Is that something that was named because it was a known brothel, or simply because, hey, we're in Tombstone and it's on that north side of Allen Street that were thought to be brothels, or how did that happen?
So I'm not sure that was named that way when I got it. So I just kept the names because they're kind of fun. However, on that side of the road, you look out at the Birdcage Theater, right?
Right.
So you have the balcony access, and across the street is the Birdcage. Now, if you were to look at the Birdcage and then you were to turn left and look across the street, that whole street from the Birdcage all the way down to like First Avenue was a red light district.
I see.
So the red light district led to the Birdcage Theater where they all worked.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, which makes total sense. Yeah.
It really
so,
does.
And then I have a historic home that was built in 1880 by miners that's on the same street.
Well, that's where that one cut off. Unfortunately, video was a little bit shoddy, but as she was finishing up, just to say that that location as a whole and the reports of paranormal activity far exceeded what we could find through our own research, and I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Little disappointed to hear, though, that the Madam Suite didn't actually have, there wasn't like a known brothel there. It wasn't the Madam's room, because that's what we tailored our investigation off of.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I think it goes to show, we still would have gone there and stayed there, but it does go to show that it's important to ask these questions and to do a little bit of research before creating narratives when we do our paranormal investigations. Yeah. All right, Jason. Well, we've heard the history. We've heard the reason that we got down there. You ready to get into some ghostly content?
Let's do it.
All right. We've got 2 clips coming up here for you from our best evidence that we found during our investigation. We're going to pull up our first segment now. You look tired. You taking a snoozer there?
Focused.
There we go. Keep going with that light. You sure seem to like the lamp. There we go. If you can see the lamp on that bed and you can see the money right next to it, can you make that money move? Can you pick it up and move it? If you can make that money move, it's all yours.
Those are 20s, right?
Yeah. It's going to throw it at Jason.
Don't ever.
Don't ever? You didn't know that was going on.
No, I didn't. Clean up.
Clean up? Oh, this was interesting. Anyone want to ask that follow-up question?
So I was reading online that bed sheets were changed in between each customer.
Oh. And maybe the cleanup comment?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Any
referring
idea
to?
that was going on?
No.
Yeah.
No. Would you like for us to change the sheets?
Also, it was $25 per customer, more if they spent the night.
So $40 that I have is not enough. I need 10 more.
No.
I don't have a 10, so
You got to play by the
I'll
rules.
give you 20. That's a $10 tip.
I mean, that lamp was going off like that.
Is that better?
There's no electrical that's just running through there
No.
that should have caused that lamp to go off.
Wow, the temperature's going now too.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
this is great. Go ahead and take.
HVAC is not going. There's no air coming from the vent right now.
Go ahead and take a seat on the edge of the bed if you'd like. Can you come over here and touch my hand? Or take the money that's on the bed? I really wish the tripwire would have been going off at the same time. You know, it would have validated that a bit more. I'm gonna have a seat next to you. Please don't be startled. I am not proud of this moment. That's going off as well. Yeah, good. Jason, it's colder over here. Get over here. Come put your hand over here. Can you feel it colder? Am I crazy?
It does feel a little colder over here.
It's colder over here. Oh, dude.
I hate that so much.
What in the world?
Oh yeah, that's colder.
It's colder. And there's nothing. So, guys, it's definitely colder on this spot here. And I can't explain it. There's no vents in this place. There's a vent back there.
But it's not on.
But it's not on. Can you touch my hand?
I mean, the lamp's going off too, though.
Yeah.
Or move something on the bed?
The SLS is picking up.
It is.
It's not really human.
Oh, that's right.
Looks like something's hanging from the ceiling.
What? What?
That is your bed tonight, bro.
All right, so we have so much to talk through with that. So first of all, there needs to be a term for a paranormal walk of shame. Because I can't tell you, before we start doing these videos, as I go and watch other paranormal investigations and other channels, I would run around the house yelling to Sarah, "Feel over here, it's colder over here." And now I'm doing it in the Hotel Tombstone, and I'm just so ashamed of myself. But to my defense, that pair lamp was going off at the same time.
Yeah. And he did put an extra 20 on bed, so.
The SLS figure that we showed that you said was hanging from the ceiling, that one, to me, it's unfortunate that clip was so short. And, oftentimes you have it and you're looking at it, but you don't want to film the entire SLS session. And so you film it as soon as you start to see something.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that clip was so short. But I do think that SLS was the most significant SLS of that entire investigation, because up on the ceiling, there's nothing that would replicate a human figure. And for that to go off at the same time as the temperature, which you felt it too. We could hear the girls out back laughing downstairs when my hands, I felt a spirit. So I really don't know what to think about this.
But yeah, your comment on the SLS is right on, because when we went to Petite Neat in the war room, we walked in and we caught an SLS going kind of across near the top of the ceiling,
right,
but we weren't recording. And so that really was a good piece of evidence, but we just weren't recording. So we don't have it on the record.
Right. No, I would really love to hear from viewers out there. What do you think about cold spots? As we try and be scientific about our investigations, it is the hardest thing. Without a FLIR camera, which we do need to pick up, and Jamie's even mentioned that will be our next purchase. But what do you feel about cold spots? Like, you see that, what is your initial knee-jerk reaction? Is it, oh, maybe there is something paranormal there, or is it not? And it's hard when you're there in real time and you feel something. It's really tough to say it and then to play it, because I knew that I wouldn't be proud of myself showing that. But
we all do things we're not proud of.
Thank you. You're just teeing yourself up for later. All right. With that being said, we have one more clip from the mainstream. Let's go ahead and show the second part of our investigation. Yeah, that's going to be a thing. I don't have the advantage of editing myself out here. You guys get a true
Up on
peek
the
behind the
ceiling?
curtain of what's going on.
Come down, please. And if you were up on the
See the
ceiling, were
girls
you
waving
the
their
person
fist like
that we were seeing on the light on the wall as well? I don't feel the... Can you step away from that, please?
Chad, I'm getting an SOS figure where the red velvet is. It comes and goes.
Show the people.
Let's see if we can.
This is great. This is exactly what we want you to do. I want you to do more.
Pretty good SOS.
Do more. Really
It is
show
pretty good SOS.
and prove to everyone that you're here.
There you go.
As we fire this up, a bit of a different camera than what we have through our phones with GhostTube. This was purchased through Gotcha Ghost. It does seem to work pretty well as long as you turn it on. Okay, there it is.
I got it.
That's where you guys were seeing the red light.
Who else?
This is
Who's
important.
sleeping on
Look at look at the part on the top right of
Viewers
the
are saying
F1.
that they did see it, and Bob is saying that he wouldn't sleep there.
We'll come back to that.
So I think here's the benefit of having a live stream. Jason and I have not determined who's going to be sleeping here. Why don't you guys determine? Tell us who you want in this bed, and we'll do it. We'll make it happen. I am not getting any more.
Deputy Dog says both.
Both.
We do have $50. Wasn't that the going rate there, Sarah? We actually have 2 hotels set up for tonight, as voted by the people of Tombstone in their Facebook group. One of which is the Larian Hotel, and then Hotel Tombstone. We did go check in. The Larian, it is a motel, and it's an old motel. It was very crowded as well, so I don't know how much activity we're going to be able to hear. With us seeing the SOS figure, with the paralamp, with the REM pod, with you guys seeing the red light, and even some of the responses on the S-Day session that we did, I'm kind of thinking we both sleep here.
Okay. Do
Who
it.
gets the bed?
I'll take that bet.
One viewer says 50 isn't
Oh.
enough for both.
Yep, we got it. It's coming back.
Okay, I've got the velvet.
See, that's back. It's right. I mean, this is inverted, but I feel like it's right over the pillow, right? So the candle.
There's a problem with that piece.
Wow. There is definitely something there.
Okay, so that ends the clips that people saw during our live stream investigation. We just wanted to bring you up to speed on some of those highlights. I want to pull in Jamie, Ryan, and Sarah for this and just get their overall thoughts. You guys were there, obviously, watching the live stream. What did you guys think about investigation? Jamie, let's start with you, kind of being more of a skeptic. You got any thoughts off the top of your head?
No, sorry.
I think you might be a believer.
Yeah, I think that.
Actually, I walked away to get a glass of water, so I didn't watch that last one.
You walked away because you were too afraid of all the paranormal footage.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, that was it.
Exactly. Sarah, do you have any thoughts on what you just saw?
No.
Dynamite, guys. It's gold. It's so golden. Now, here's the one thing I will say about this. In real time, Jason, we were commenting on that SLS. I mean, that seemed to be something of significance. But when I went back through that footage, if you look in the top right corner, we don't have to pull this up again. People go back and watch this, but in the top right of that SLS, it almost shows like an infrared version of the room, and the screen is inverted on the SLS cameras. It was picking up the lamp.
Yeah.
We didn't notice that in real time. So we think that there's a figure over the pillow. It wasn't. I mean, it was simply picking up the lamp, and that's kind of the importance. You know, it's not as exciting to see it that way, but I think that we should call that out.
Yeah.
So we did have some things that happened during the live stream, but let's get into some content that you guys haven't seen. When our live stream investigation turned off, we kept investigating, and we decided to focus on that main bed where we were picking up some anomalies in the Madam Suite. Let's show that first post-investigation clip now.
Any spirits here, please make yourselves known. Can you make a noise, please? Please make us aware of your audible presence. Heard something. Did you hear it? It sounded like something coming from that stairwell. Maybe the bathroom. That was great. Please enter into the room and welcome. Once here, please go touch the red light on the corner of the bed. Boy, EMF sure is going.
Yeah.
Yes. When I asked if the EMF was going and if they can make themselves known. That's a great job. Great response. Is this a woman that we're speaking with? If so, give us a sign. Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Are you the madam of this brothel? Are you a worker here in this brothel? Did you come here for the silver rush? Was that you?
No. Was that you?
No. Oh, I have chills. Dude, that was loud.
Yeah.
Loud.
I got it.
That wasn't your chair? That was like right by you. Seriously?
It wasn't the chair. I didn't move.
Ooh.
Dude, I've got chills like crazy.
Did you make the sound in here? I asked you to make your presence known. I believe you did a good job. I appreciate it. Jason and I plan on staying the night here. Are you comfortable with that? If you're not comfortable with that, please make your presence known. Wow, Jason, that went to orange. The K2 that is dying went to orange.
Yours went to orange? I didn't see it.
Yeah. We have a device that you can speak through and use your words, and we'll be able to hear your words and speak them out loud into our dimension so that we can hear them. Would you like to use that form of communication? Give me a sign if you would. Wow. Your K2 went to red almost?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do an Estes. You good with an Estes?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I'll sit up there and do it.
So Jason, things certainly starting to heat up. I mean, even me editing, I know what's coming on there, but kind of had me on the edge of my seat. That K2 is really going nuts. Both of them were.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of activity there.
Yeah, there really was. And the setting of that, things did take a bit of a creepier vibe once the live stream ended. And it could have just been because of the setting. But as you heard us say there, we wanted to go back to an Estee session and sit right on that bed and see who would come through.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the Estates.
Sounds
Let's
good.
fire up the
Let's
next
do it.
clip.
I didn't get this thing to turn on.
You just have to hold it. No flash blue.
Hello, buddy. I'm trying. Thank you. I'm trying to turn this on, but I'm struggling. Can you give me just a second?
Damn it, she's waiting.
It's the temperature again. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. Thanks for the help. You ready?
You got candles and flowers.
Okay, so if you recall the way this thing works, you talk through it.
No, seriously, we want you to tell us. Open our app and click the talkback button.
Oh, dude.
Tony's
Yeah, I mean.
101.
That scared me so bad.
That was so loud.
scared
That
me
was so
bad. It
loud.
was so loud. And the radio station didn't move, and it just happened to be on a radio station.
You notice the editing, that's Chad changing his underwear.
Hey, how's it going?
I think I completely blocked that out of my memory because I did not remember that until I edited it. All right. This starts to get real. Pay attention to the words that come up on here.
So if there's anyone in this room with us, Chad has a receiver on his lap that you can speak into, and he'll hear that through his headphones. So you just need to speak loud enough to get that signal through that antenna. Were you a worker or a madam?
Love.
You love this town? Did you love working here? Or perhaps are you a male customer?
This pie, maybe?
Or are you a more recent visitor that came when this downstairs
Bed is shaking.
was a pie shop? Are you shaking the bed that Chad's on? No.
Feels like the bed is shaking.
Yes, someone is on the bed that Chad is on.
So what?
Well, we just want to know who you are. Are you the madam that used to stay in this room?
Dude, I don't know if it's like these headphones, perhaps, being like so tight that I feel my pulse, but it felt like the bed would just go.
December 28th. There wasn't anything I could see that was shaking the bed. Nothing came up on SLS.
Okay, that's good.
And you said something was touching your knee, your right knee.
Yeah, it could have been like a little muscle twitch or something.
Okay.
Because I felt that over at the Ritz too, if you remember.
Oh.
You heard that?
I didn't hear
It was a man's voice. It was a man's dead as day.
I turned this off. Sounds like there's people.
Yeah. He must have been walking like right below us. The Ritz too, if you remember.
Oh.
You heard that?
I didn't hear
It It was a man's voice. It was a man's dead as day.
I turned this off.
The Ritz, too, if you remember.
Oh.
You heard that.
I didn't hear
It was a man's voice. It was a man's dead as day.
I turned this off.
The Ritz, too, if you remember.
Oh.
You heard that.
I didn't hear
It was a man's voice. It was a man's dead as day.
I turned this off.
Okay, so we have a number of things to go through there. First of all, dead as day, I don't know. I was editing that and I'm like, Sarah's going to have a field day with that. First, I think I said Madam of the Night during the investigation. And then I was like, uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that, but it's okay because no one's going to notice it. And then Sarah calls me out like 5 times during the live stream on it. And then, of course, dead as day. So a couple of things to note there. The S-Dace was interesting. We'll come back to that in a second. The bed shaking, I thought was quite interesting. And then the envoy going off as well. You see my hand go up on there. And then 5 seconds or so later, the thing triggers. It wasn't me triggering that. Like that thing just doesn't get triggered that often. And so I thought that was of note. But we got to go to these voices. So we heard the one that's in the background of you talking that almost sound like a hey. But then there is a full sentence there. This one's tricky. I want to bring Jamie on. Jamie Ryan, being our skeptic here, do you have any thoughts on what appears to be a full sentence EVP captured there? You're on mute, so you're going to have to come off.
Thanks. My bad.
Day, Sarah.
I don't know what it was, but was it one of you talking? Was it Jason
Jason swore it wasn't him.
or
I
somebody
don't
else?
remember that, but
I don't know what it was.
Weren't there cats in the alley at one point?
that was the jail.
That was the jail. Apparently the ladies have dipped into the wine. So that clip, I listened to that so many times. I sent you guys in the group text. I isolated that clip and sent it out. And then I listened to it the next morning and Jamie and I started talking about it. We know where that voice comes from. Jamie, you want to do the honors?
Yep. I think it's Jason.
That's a paranormal yellow card, Jason. No whispering. No whispering.
I know better.
No whispering.
I know better. I'm ashamed.
You get 2 of those in a season, and then you're suspended. And
You got a yellow.
We don't want this to come out for you, Jason.
we will suspend your ass. You will sit out an investigation if you get 2 of those. There is no whispering.
I have a point of order though with this because we're all Ute fans. Shouldn't this be a blue card?
Nah, we'll stick to the soccer. I don't think a majority of our audience may know about the Utah thing, but I like where your head's
Well, maybe rather than banning me if I do that again, which I won't, maybe we should ask the fans what the punishment
what
should
the
be.
punishment should be. I agree.
You guys know how well it goes when you do bets like this.
Not well at all. And unfortunately, in one of our upcoming investigations, I will learn that the hard way for everyone's.
Everyone
enjoyment.
has that to look forward to.
Okay, so Jason, that was you whispering. I do believe, though, that the first voice that I called out, there is something there. There were people outside walking on the street. I don't think it was them. I truly do feel that behind your voice, there is something there. We'll cut that up, play it as a social media clip for people to be able to review.
So they can hear it at his day.
Yeah, dead as day. I mean, I want people to analyze it, think about where it came from, the origins of it. Really, it's much deeper than most people can comprehend. So thanks again for pointing that one out, Sarah. But I do want to turn our attention just a little bit here to that clip. Interestingly, just a few things came through on the S-Days. And this, I truly do believe, is perhaps paranormal. I want you to know the sequence of events that happened. I cut up that segment. I put in the words that were there. I didn't think that they had meaning when I said love and the pie, I think it was. The very last piece of putting this video together was interviewing Kim Williams, the owner. And so I asked her just by chance to see if that had any meaning. Let's go ahead and show that clip. Well,
Yeah.
I'm curious about the activity, and I've got a question that, just as I was going through the evidence and thinking about your hotel and what it has to offer, I suspect that there's no correlation with what I'm about to tell you, but I'm really curious if there is. So we were doing a particular experiment called an S-Day session. What we had come through were a couple of words that I thought were interesting. And at first, the first word that came through was love. But the second one, which didn't make sense to me at the time, it said like the pies or pies.
This pie, maybe?
Is there anyone
Okay.
that like would
pie.
have a correlation with
That
pies that
just
maybe
gave
you
me
knew or
great-
passed away?
Yes. Yes, that just gave me, I'm having chills literally all over my body. So, Allen Street is, and who knows if this wasn't John that came through. So Allen Street is named after a man called John Allen, but his nickname was John Pie Allen because he served little mini apple pies that were dehydrated, but he sold them for $1 each. And in 1880, if you bought a pie for $1 then, you'd be paying $30 for a little handheld pie today. He made a killing off of pie. And this whole street is named after him. He was the mayor of Tucson. He was a superintendent of schools. He was involved in the legislature in Bisbee. But he has a whole neighborhood in Tucson called John Pie Allen. It's the neighborhood is called Pie Allen. It's named after him. So that's really cool. It gives me chills because I brought those little pies back for him because this whole street's named after him. I'm about to cry because that would be cool if that were him saying, hey, the pies. Yeah,
Wow,
that's really
incredible.
awesome. I'm so happy you shared that with me. Yeah, that's so cool. I'm tearing up because
Wow.
that's huge. The whole street's named after him and people don't understand why. And so I'm paying homage to him by bringing his pies back. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's really cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That makes a whole
Yeah.
lot more sense. And I mean, that gets a little heavy.
Yeah.
That was one of the cooler moments of unveiling a piece of evidence that I think I've had in this first year of doing this.
Yeah. Well, they have the pie store downstairs, but we thought that was just a recent thing when it got reopened. We didn't know that there was actually a pie shop from the 1880s. So that was something that we had no idea.
That's a great point. And a little bit of timeline just to solidify that. Jason and I flew into Phoenix, drove down to Tombstone. We arrived at about 6 o'clock in the evening. We went directly to Boot Hill to go investigate the Boot Hill Cemetery. And then we drove all the way. So then we drove back to the Hotel Tombstone. We got settled and we immediately turned on the live stream. We didn't even have a chance to go in downstairs. Yep. And so we didn't see their whole pie setup. Like that was no part of our mindset. Yep. I thought that was really cool.
Yep.
Okay, so we're about halfway through this live stream. That was a little heavy. I think we need to lighten the mood just a touch.
Yeah. With that being said, I think we take a little break.
Yeah, one of the beautiful things about the YouTube is I think I just said it again. One of the beautiful things about YouTube is you can't edit. But the other beautiful thing is there are commercials, unfortunately, that pop up with YouTube. The beautiful thing about the live stream, you get to bypass those commercials. The even more beautiful thing about DGH, you get your own commercials. Enjoy.
Did you hear that?
I totally heard that.
I want you to go investigate there now. Go now. Over there. Right there. There it is. Show yourself, spirit!
Do you find your friends and loved ones becoming a little too immersed in their same ghost hunting shows? Dr. Ghost Hunters has the perfect prescription for you. Introducing Bagans Busters, made with equal parts happiness, anti-steroid serum, and the ability to debunk all the things other people think are demons, this wonderful cocktail will have you back on the right track
Here,
in no time.
drink this.
Cheers.
Portals!
Let me just answer the question right off the bat. Yes, I lost a bet.
You sure really led with the chest there. I was very impressed. Very Bagans-esque. That was incredible.
Method acting.
yeah, you certainly did that. So, Bagans Busters. Make sure to try them out. We've got the recipe online. You can hit up Sarah, and we can get that over to you. Guys, during the live stream investigation during the Hotel Tombstone, a number of viewers had commented on this red light that was being seen. Jamie Ryan and Sarah had noted to us a number of times that was there. And we started to take a peek at that red light during the live stream, but people were really thinking that they saw something there. Ryan and Sarah, can you guys comment a little bit more on what people thought they were seeing or what you guys were able to see?
People kept commenting during the video that they saw like a red light over the bed, and there was a window there, but I didn't see. I saw like a blinking, but I thought it was related to the devices. But
yeah. So even during the live investigation, we had you guys stop what you were doing and look at the window and look outside and move stuff around the flowers, move them back. We just weren't sure.
We were trying to get it to happen again, and we couldn't get it to happen.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people saw it, so like it wasn't what is that, a Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Right. Well, with that evidence, the beautiful thing, I stopped myself. The beautiful thing about it is that when people are watching this real time, we get to know about it and we can follow up on it. Jason and I did a fair amount of debunking afterwards to see if we could figure out the source of the red light. Let's go ahead and show them what we found. With that being said, click the button.
All right, Jason. So we just ended our live stream and we got a whole bunch of comments from the viewers that they saw, sorry, I've got this glare here, a red light by where the flowers were. Let me get that out of there. So we can see the curtain there. We can see the flowers, but that red LED.
It looks like it's almost in the middle of the flowers.
Well, I did move the flowers and then I moved them back, but I'm curious
So do you want
if
me
that
to
red light. Well, yeah, because
it looks like
I want to see if
it goes like that.
I want to see if it's a car light.
Like that. So it could
be a car light, right?
come over here.
Okay.
And I'll kind of lift this and you can see where the red velvet kind of swings in.
I mean, it stays pretty tight on there. Let me come back over here from this angle. Keep holding that if you don't mind.
Do you see how it's tied with that rope?
Yeah.
That corner, I suppose a car brake light.
Well, I don't know, man. It could.
Where is it on the street down there with that angle?
Let's see. I can't quite. Okay, so there's, let me turn this on. So there's the end of that there. Boy, I don't know, man.
Does it not catch a street?
We
Part
need
of the street?
It does. It could catch it. It could. So let that down. And I think initially. It could be a light. Can I see the photo again? So what about the pillows though? So the hard part that I have about the pillows is that it looks like it's right on top of the red pillow. And the issue with that is that right on top of the red pillows are the blue pillows.
Fans out.
Well, it's the blue pillow. You see?
Depending on the
You see what I'm saying?
That's the other thing. Like if that's the blue pillow,
Yeah.
what the camera was like right here, right?
Well, yeah, let me extend the camera even as far as it can go up.
Well, if it's up looking down, I can see that catching more of the street. If it's flat, level with the pillows, it may be over the street.
Oh gosh, you're right. And that would be like something looking in. Right? Right?
I don't know. So, did you catch that on camera?
Yeah. Okay, so this I think was about the angle that we had it. Oh my god. Okay, so let me see this again. So if this were the angle,
Now it's down this far because the camera's down a little bit too.
that's true.
Dude, I think.
But is this tripod all the way extended? It is, right?
No, I think
It's got a little more. Was it all the way up?
I don't remember.
I don't think it was all the
I
way
haven't
up.
adjusted that.
I was. So that's as far up as it can go.
So that could.
That's the maximum angle that it could go.
So that could go down. It's not going to be flat. Do you want me to go lift that curtain up again?
No. Let me see. Because it would have, look at the angle of it. So, Jason, go back and look through the viewfinder there. Can you tell me when my finger goes away?
I can't tell. It's
You can't tell?
it's not bright enough.
Okay.
If we have more light.
How about the white part of my phone? Tell me when it goes away.
It's going away a little
It's
bit
going away a little bit. So
because of the
that
flowers.
would have to be here, which I don't know, man. Can
Hold
you
on. Let me see. So
Can you see white lights back there?
Yeah, that is. Looking at that angle, that's about where that gutter is across the way.
So there's a chance it's a car.
So get down here and get your angle and follow it through, and you'll see it goes right to about where
Yeah,
the gutter is.
Oh, dude, no. Okay, I see what you're saying though.
So try and
Yeah.
stay flat, and you'll, at least when I was looking at
It
it,
could be a car.
it lines with the gutter.
It could have been a car.
It could have been.
It could have been.
We moved stuff, so I don't know.
It could have been. I think. And the angle matters a lot, right? So if I'm up too high here,
Yeah, if it's flat, that's not a car.
if it's flat,
If it's
not a
high,
car.
you're going down on the street.
And it's just with that angle.
It's too dark to really.
I just can't tell with the angle.
And the flowers are loose enough down to the bottom that a car light could go through that, I think. That's what she said. Good hell. I'll see.
I don't know how that last piece got on there. Jason, the red light. Seeing it there. Thoughts?
You know, I really think it was a brake light on a car. Just from the angle I remember, it was going down right where the gutter was on the street. From what I heard from the viewers, it was bright. Like, unless it's a demon's glowing eyes, I don't think, what we were looking for would be that bright. So I really do think it was a car light.
I agree. The secondary footage that we had from the GoPro, looking through it and putting that side by side, really seemed to debunk that, which really is interesting in terms of a paranormal investigation, because during that live stream, we had so many things happening, and going back and looking at it, we were able to debunk a lot of it.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, there we have it. I think the red light debunked. Thanks for the ladies for bringing that to our attention. I would ask Ryan and Sarah what their inquiries were, but we could see them off stage. I think they both left during the segment to go get another bottle of wine. So let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. We actually asked our viewers through our social media. You can find us on Instagram at Drghosthunters, on TikTok, Dr. Ghost Hunters 1, and of course on Facebook, Dr. Ghost Hunters. We asked some of our viewers to send in their own paranormal clips for us to examine and evaluate, and of course to share. This whole thing's about community and interacting with others.
Yep.
We had a great clip come in, and as that gets queued up, if anyone does have, who's watching, has any questions for us, we'd love to have a Q&A session here at the end. Please feel free to go ahead and put that in the comments. But Sarah, let's go ahead and queue up our first submission, or I guess our submission for this episode, from CREEPZ, who is a paranormal investigative team from the Midwest. They have some excellent videos. You can go find them on YouTube. In fact, after this, as a thank you to them, please encourage everyone to go subscribe.
Yep.
But let's play their submission. It's a couple minutes long. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Pay very close attention to this scene. This is a scene from Caleb's point of view as we prepare to head down to another level of the building that they call the dungeon. Instead of listening for potential paranormal occurrences, you'll be watching for something in one of the doorways.
See, now I remember walking this way. Okay, so listen, this, I need you to get height.
It's a different
See,
angle.
now I remember walking this way. I know there's I think
I
there was
was
a bathroom over there. No, down there, there's a classroom. Okay, back there. I don't remember if this was a classroom or not, but I just remember walking into here. But I came here for half a day. That's all I came. According to the cross, where's my name? Hi, Richard. I'm like,
So again, different angle. It's going to be in that back corner.
see, now I remember walking this way.
We are fascinated by an apparition that appears in the glass of the door. After showing this shocking discovery to the Mower Doctor team, we made another in-person visit during the daytime a few months later so that we could take a closer look. As you can see, there is an electrical outlet directly behind this door, which we were aware of that night because it helped to power one of our stationary Z-cams located on the floor directly above this area. In fact, here is a shot of that extension cord that runs up to the top floor. The size and location of this outlet did not match up with the location of this apparition, so we cannot use this to debunk it. Strange
Well, it's more than just a wire anyway.
Yeah, it truly is.
It really does.
Ooh. Ooh. Well done on the editing. I love the lengths that they went to debunk that. But I also wonder, I watched this probably 20 times as I put this together. How in the hell did they find that the first time?
Yeah.
I mean, did you notice it right off the bat?
Not initially.
I haven't
no.
showed this to you before.
No, I didn't see it initially.
Ryan and Sarah, let's bring you guys on. I want to know, as you watch this, neither of you have seen this clip before. What are your thoughts?
I didn't see anything. Yeah, I didn't either.
When they took it in and they said that they had someone else examine it and it went to that black and white, you couldn't see the face there that was there in the window?
Maybe it's just grainy on our end. Yeah, and it looks like before it zoomed in that there were just a lot of like shadows from all of them like moving around and talking that were like displaying up on the wall in that general area. So it's hard to tell if it was a shadow from them on the inside just casting or if it was actually something on the other side of the window. It was hard to tell.
I do love the fact that they went to those lengths to
Oh yeah,
the other side of the window, and I even cut it down by a couple of minutes. They even showed the glass and like tried to test whether or not it was plexiglass, if it was flat in there, if it was flush in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't one of those situations where it's like you're watching like, did you hear that or did you see that? And it's just, I think from the video that we have available to us on my computer, I didn't see anything, but that doesn't. I mean, obviously other people did.
Yeah. And so when they switched that view a little bit, I mean, that to me, I think Jane Lynch once said that I will haunt your dreams. That's what I saw. Like, that thing was creepy.
Yeah, that was a creepy face.
Now, I'll tell you this, Creeps. And first of all, great job on your editing. Great job there. The face morphs look like more than one face, even viewers see. So other people are seeing it too. And that's what I love about that clip. Now, I will raise you one thing here, Creeps. There's a voice. There's an EVP in there. I don't know that they caught it or commented on it. I tried to isolate it. I think we have that clip. Sarah, let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
There's a classroom. Okay, back there. I don't remember if this was a classroom or not, but I just remember walking into here. But I came here for half a day. That's all I came. According to the there's a classroom. Okay, back there. I don't remember if this was a classroom or not, but I just remember walking into here. But I came here for half a day. That's all I came. According to the there's a classroom. Okay, back there. I don't remember if this was a classroom or not, but I just remember walking into here. But I came here for half a day. That's all I came. According to the cross, half a day. That's all.
I clearly hear a voice. It could be the same pitch as the guy who was narrating it. Sarah, Jamie, do you guys hear it?
I mean, I hear what you're pointing out, but I can't. It just sounds like maybe someone made a noise that are all standing. It's so hard. There's like 5 or 6 people in that room. They all be just talking over each other, or he could have just made like someone was laughing, but doesn't make like an outward noise. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of
It's hard to
sounded like
tell.
when someone blows into a bottle, but they don't get the right pitch. Like that's what it sounded like to me.
I almost thought I heard someone say that day or something like that. And I didn't listen to the context of what someone was, what the person who was talking was saying.
Yeah. Well, CREEPZ, if you're watching this and you need to issue a yellow card, feel free to do that.
I hear them paying something. Yeah, I could almost hear that same pitch, but I really do think that there's an EVP behind there. If that EVP, and that was at the same time as the face popping up, which adds a little more, not that they need credibility, but I think it does that. So thank you for the submission. And we encourage everyone here who's watching, if you have your own pieces of paranormal evidence, whether it's full-blown evidence or if you just want us to take a look at it, please feel free to reach out to us on any of our social medias or email it to us at drghosthunterslc@gmail.com. We'd be happy to not only take a look, but of course feature it on one of our episodes as well. And again, we will have the YouTube channel info. I thought it was CREEPZ. You're saying it's CREEPZ?
Whatever it is, whoever.
Well, now I feel like a jerk. So either way, we will have their link. Please go make sure to go check out their channel as well. Well, team, I think it's about that time of night where we're going to be looking for a diagnosis of the Hotel Tombstone. We've heard a little bit about the history, the paranormal events that have happened there. Of course, we were there for the live stream. You've seen some of the highlights. We've debunked, and we've seen some of the post-investigation. Skeptic Jamie, we know you're going to say it's haunted. Just go ahead and lay it out there for us.
How did you know? Yeah, no, I don't think it's haunted at all. Sorry.
How dare you?
But I wasn't there. So
You don't have to qualify it. That's okay. Miss Sarah?
I think that maybe there's a residual energy with that pie thing. I don't know. I thought that was interesting, but there was definitely not anything trying to communicate with you guys on purpose.
Everyone's shirts did stay on and the cleanup crew didn't come. I think that one's for you, buddy.
What's that?
This guy. Cowboy Dr. Jason. You got we didn't work that through the green screen. You got a diagnosis for us?
There's a lot. Well, there's definitely some things I can't explain. So I think there's some activity there. Like Sarah says, it may be residual, but it's not the most active place we've been to by any means.
And I'll tell you this, for my diagnosis, give me all the Hotel Tombstone. The history behind it is the reports of activity were fascinating. Some of the things we were able to debunk. as Sarah pointed out, the Estee session with Love and the Pie was a bit of a game changer for me. I think there was something there. I would actually consider driving back to Tombstone as a bit of a drive for us, which is the only reason I say it like that. And I would tell you, I think it is haunted. It is not the most haunted place that we've been to, but I do think it's haunted. And I would encourage anyone who wants to go check it out to go look at hoteltombstone.com. We didn't map this out. There are 3 rooms right next to each other that adjoin the Madam Suite. Rent all 3 of them. You can get all 3 of those rooms cheaper than you would for most paranormal locations. And you'll have that entire balcony that overlooks Allen Street all to yourself. And if you do that, let us know what you get and send us your paranormal evidence from the Hotel Tombstone. With that being said, we're going to move on.
There we go.
Just a little bit. So before we fully close out, again, we want to thank everyone for watching. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and join us for every live stream that we have. If you enjoyed this paranormal experience, please let us know. If you want to see us change it, we're open to that too. We are going to have some live stream investigations coming up, and we are looking forward to having everybody there. Our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you can find all of us there. Email us your evidence at drghosthunterslc@gmail.com. So as we close out this case, this visit comes to a close. Get your doses of scares, your laughs, your skepticism. And as we look for our next diagnosis, don't forget to take care of your portals.
Portals.
We'll see you guys next time. Jason, you took me here on a romantic dinner last night.
Yeah.
The only food in Tombstone available past 8 p.m.
Those lovely Oreos. Did you get a burrito?
I got Oreos, a wrap, and a bag of chips.
That's good.
Doctor recommended. My God, have you ever had this? Have you ever had this? This high C drink?
I hear it's good.
It's the bee's knees, man. This is literally the best thing I've ever had to drink in my life.
How does it compare to High C in Utah?
Oh, even better. This is the most glorious
Not
high C
possible. I don't believe
we've
you.
ever had. I wonder if Sarah's ever had high C.
We should ask.
We should ask.